First off, leaf lard comes from inside the hog near the kidneys, and back
So
fat
here
is
you can see the
outside.
two pieces of fat side by side. This one is the back fat and this one is the leaf lard. The leaf lard is semi-frozen right now, so I'm going to try to show you, but it's not working as well as what if it's thawed. So if you kind of put this between your fingers here, you can see that it's like spreadable and it flakes a little, and it moves a little easier. That's what's going to make those flaky pie crusts and biscuits. Then this piece is very solid, almost leathery feeling, and it's not going to squeeze and like mold between, you're not going to be able to mold it between your fingers like this leaf lard. So next, we have a grinder, so we're going to cut all of this, keep them separate. The leaf lard will be rendered separately from the back fat. But if you don't have a grinder, have this be semi-frozen, both types of fat semi-frozen. Chop them into small pieces before they're rendered. We have a grinder, so you won't see us put them into such small pieces as if you didn't have a grinder at home. This is at 3 p.m. And this
When you
is what
render your lard,
it
you
looks
need
like.
to have it
So now I'm going
200
to
degrees in your
scoop
crock
this to strain into something easy to pour, and then I'm going to fill these jars. Now remember, we're not actually canning this, we're just storing them in the glass jars. I've found the lard and the leaf lard both to be pretty shelf stable, as long as you're using it like within a year. It can start tasting a little bit off if you're not going to use it that fast. So if you have the freezer space, store it in the freezer, but I've not had any trouble just storing it. So the other thing is, sometimes, like, I have more lard to do, so I didn't wait until this melted all the way down, but I'm just going to put more in here. If you're butcher, or if you butchered yourself and you didn't like trim off the meat very well, you want to make sure that you're using a really fine strainer and maybe even a cheesecloth, because you don't want any little pieces of meat in your jar of your finished product, because that will cause it to go rancid faster, really fast. So you just want all the stuff to get strained out, and you're just left with that pure lard. And when it is solid again, it should be a pretty nice white color. This is the fat, so it won't be as white as the leaf lard, but we're just going to keep straining this. There's probably a faster way to be doing this, but I'll get it done. And then I'll probably strain it again, because I can see that there's still some chunks in there, so that's stuff that's not rendered yet. And then I'll leave the lids off of these until it cools, just because I actually don't want it to create a tight seal. I'm not canning them, I'm just using the jars to store them. And I always try to use the wide mouth lids, because that makes it easy to like get wide mouth jars, make it easy to like scoop out.
So now I'll store these jars in my basement and use them as needed. We use them as a replacement for any cooking oil, and then the leaf lard is used for pies and pastries and flaky crusts.